Hello everybody, this is the part 2 of chapter number 11, Analyzing Data of ACCA F2 Management Accounting. Before watching this video, make sure that you have checked the part 1 of this video, part 1 of this chapter. In case you haven't, then I've linked it in the description box below. Alright, so we have to start from the normal distribution, right? So let's quickly see whatever we have seen of the normal distribution. So this is my histogram, right? And whenever I'm talking about a normal distribution, we have a bell curve. So the peak of the graph is in the center, as we have discussed, and this is a bell curve. Alright, and the area under the curve is always 1. So when do you say that a particular standard normal distribution, when do you say that a normal distribution is a standard normal distribution? When the mean is 0 and the standard deviation is 1. So whenever my mean is 0 and my standard deviation value is 1, then I would say that it is my standard normal distribution. What is my formula of z-score? My formula of z-score is x, which is the value given, minus mean divided by the standard deviation. By doing this, I get my value of the z-score. So we will be using this to calculate, to convert any value into a standard normal distribution. So whenever I am supposed to convert my normal given data into standard normal distribution, then I will be using the z-score. Illustration number 10. RST is a food producer specialized in dry fruit and nuts. The dried fruit and nuts are prepared within the factory and packed into small bags which are sold as snacks in supermarkets. The weights of the snack bags are normally distributed with a mean weight of 70 gram and a standard deviation of 5 gram. So the value of mean is given and the value of the standard deviation is given. RST can use normal distribution to calculate the probability that a bag selected at a random would be of an acceptable weight. The food producer would like to know the probability that the bag selected at a random weighs less than 60 kgs. So 60 is the value of x which is given. So what was my formula of z-score? It was x minus my mean divided by my standard deviation. So that would be 60 minus my mean divided by standard deviation, which is 5. So my answer is going to be minus 2. Looking up the normal distribution tables. Once we have calculated our z-score, we can look this up on the normal distribution table to find the area under the curve, which equates percentage chance or probability of the value occurring. So that shows us the probability of the occurrence of the certain value. If we have calculated a z-score of 1 from the table, the value is, okay, so let's say my value of z-score is 1. So in that case, my value is going to be 3413. Alright, so you are going to check the corresponding values, which we will be able to understand soon. This means that my 0.34 divided by 1 is the area from 0 to 1. Did you understand that? Beginning from 0, ending to 1, and my percentage is 0.34. So area from 0 to 1 is this shaded region, right? And the percentage, the probability is 34%, which is given in the question. From this, we can deduce that 34.13% would be the area shown from 0 to minus 1 on the diagram. So if it is 34%, we can say that 68.26 values will fall within one standard deviation. Now, why am I saying that it is 68.2? Think about it for a second. If the value from 0 to 1 is 34%, 0.13%, then since it is a symmetrical graph, so the area between 0 and minus 1 is also going to be the same as 0 to 1, right? So this is again going to be 34.13. So this 34.13 plus this 34.13 will give me 68.26. So this values, 68.26% of values will be falling between minus 1 to 1. So that is my one standard deviation, which ranges from minus 1 to 1. What is the table value for z is equal to 2.63? with this value, you look down the first column to find 2.6. Okay, let's just see it. So if my z-score is 2.63, where am I gonna go? I'm gonna go somewhere over here, right? Alright. Then along the top row, you will find 0.3. So think about it for a second. 2.63. So this is 2.63. So if I have 2.6, how much more should I add to it? 0.03. If I add 0.03 to 2.6, I'll get 2.63. So see that 2.6 is over here plus 0.3. So it is this. So what is my corresponding value? 49.57. I hope you are understanding how I did that. If you see our previous example again, and if we have a z-score of 1.00, why did we choose this row? Think about it for a second. 1 is over here. 1 plus 0 is going to give me 1. That's why we chose 0. And then this was my corresponding value. And in this, why am I not choosing the 0 value? Because my corresponding value is 0.03. So 2.6 then 0.03. So my corresponding value is 0.4957. With this value, where they intersect will give the value 2.63. The value is 49.57. This is extremely simple and I hope you got it. RST is a food producer specializing in dried fruits and nuts. The dried fruits and nuts are prepared within the factory and packed into small bags which are sold as snacks in the supermarkets. Did we do this? Yeah. The weights of the snack bags are normally distributed with the mean and standard deviation. RST can use normal distribution. The food producer would like to know the probability that the bag selected at random weighs less than 60 grams. The z-score is -2. Calculate the probability of the random thing. Alright. So my z-score is -2. First let me find my z-score. It is -2. Alright. So everything is given to me. So how am I going to find this? Okay. Look up the table for values of z. These are my values of z. What is my value of z? It's -2, right? Okay. So the table value of 2 is 0.4772. See, we have -2. So I'm going to take 2 plus 0. We are not adding anything else because my value of z is itself 2, -2. So 0.4472 is my answer. Now, as we have discussed earlier, the value between 0 to 1 will be equal and symmetrical to value between 0 and -1. So even if we have taken the value for +2, the value of -2 will also be same because the bell curve is symmetrical in nature. So here my value is going to be 0.4772. Okay. So we assume as a normal distribution exists, the value for -2 is the same. The mean is given in the question, which was 70 gram, and we have to find 0 to, so we found for -2, so the answer is 0.4772. Now they are saying that you want to find the probability that the bag selected weighs less than 60 gram. If you want to find less than 60 gram, how are you going to find the percentage? We already know that the area under the curve is 1 gram, right? So the probability that the bag selected at a random weighs less than 60 kgs is 0.5 minus 0.4772. Again, think about it for a second. The area between this is 0.4772. We know that. And what is the area of this? Think about it and try to answer the question. It's 0.5, right? Why is it 0.5? They are symmetrical in nature. Bell curve is symmetrical in nature. If you add this plus this plus this, my answer is going to be 1. So by doing that, you are going to find the answer. alright, and then after that you're going to find the value of just this curve and you are going to remove the value of 47%, so you will get 2.3%. So this probability is going to be 2.3%. So the total area under the curve is 1. So if we have to consider half the area of the bell curve, then I'm going to divide the 1 by 2. So area of this is going to be 0.5, area of this is going to be 0.5, and the value of this curve is also given to us. So you just have to find the probability which is lesser than -2. So this area is being asked. So it's that simple. Consider the area shown under the following graphs. Look up the normal distribution tables to find the probability of the shaded areas. So the probability that our z-score falls between 0 and 1 is 34%. So what do I have to find? I have to find before you begin this illustration, now this is something which you will be tested about in your exam for sure. It's pretty simple, trust me, it's simple. You will also be given the standard deviation table in your question. So it is simple, but before that, open your textbooks. If you do not have one, I have just scanned and kept a picture over here. So the standard normal distribution table would be given in your first page of your textbook. So this would also be given in your question paper. So I know it looks very confusing and stuff, but this is the same thing which we were seeing. If I want to find the value of 1 point, let's say 1.6, just a second, yeah. Why is my pen not working? Okay, if I want to find the value for 1.6, so first look for 1 over here. I'm not able to circle on this for some reason. It's okay. Anyway, if I want to find the value of, let's say, 1.6, so how am I going to do that? Look at this, find 1 on the vertical sides over here. If I want to find 1, can you see 1 over here? Here, here. I hope you can see 1, right? 1.0, below 0.9 there is 1.0. So that is my 1. And if I want to find the value of 1.6, now I'll find if I want to find 1.06, let's say, I'm going to go here. Here I see 0.6. Now I'll find the corresponding value. I will go and find the corresponding value, which is, I think, this. I'm not sure. Okay. See, if I want to find the, let me just start with the illustration again. Wait. Alright. If I want to find the value of, let's say, 1.06. 1.06. So that would be 1.0.06. Right. So how am I going to find the value? See the picture. Find 1, 0.06, and my corresponding value is going to be 35.54. That is how you're going to find. I hope you got it. Now let's say I have to find the value of 2.04. How are you going to do that? That's going to be 2 plus 0.04, right? So again you'll go to your table, find the value 2.0. 2.0 is over here, plus 0.04 is over here. So my value is going to be 0.47.93. Okay, so that's how you're going to be finding the values using a standard normal distribution table. So that's how you're going to find your z-score. That will be given in your question. Don't worry about that. Also, before we start with the questions, quickly let's revise our bell curve concepts. So this is my bell curve. The middle value is always my mean. Mean is represented by mu. Okay. And if you think about it, this is my 50% value. This is my 50% value. So when I say 50%, my total, write this down, make notes of it. Total area under curve. So my total area under curve is 1, So if this is 1, then this is 0.5 and this is 0.5. Adding them, it becomes 1. Alright. And what is my value of z score? My value of z score is going to be x, which is the given value, minus mean divided by my standard deviation. Simple. Alright. I hope it's clear. Okay, now let's start with our question. Illustration. I'm just going to do it quickly. Alright. So we need to find the probability that z lies between 1 and 0. Alright. So this is my curve. My mean is 0. Oh, this is the most important thing. Also my mean is going to be 0 and my standard deviation is going to be 1. Okay. So my value lies between 0 and 1. So 0 is over here and 1 is over here. So I want to find the area of this. How am I going to do that? Think about it. 0 and 1. The probability that our z score falls between 0 and 1 is this much. Now how did they do that? Okay, if you go on the table, 1 is over here, 0 is over here. So 0.3413. 0.3413. That is my answer. Got it? Just check the corresponding values. Alright, my value of z is between 0 and 1.25. Again, symmetrical 0. This is my 1.25. This is my shaded region. Z score falls between 0 and 1.25. Alright, go to my table again. Check 0 and 1.25. 0 and 1.2. Here 0, 1.2. 0.3849. So that is going to be 0.3849. Okay. Again, the value lies between 0 and 1.25. So you are going to see 1.25. 1 and 0.25. Zero and just give me a second. 1.2. Okay, so how are you going to do this when you're given a question like this? First, you are going to find the probability of our score falls between 0 and 1.25. So this is going to be 1 plus 0.2, 0 plus 0.25, 0.05. So you are going to find 3 and you are going to add it, you will get this. See, P z is greater than 2.1. Okay, anything which is greater than 2.1. Sorry, z is smaller than 2.1. Anything which is smaller than 2.1 is basically 0.5 plus 2.1. 0.5 plus 2.1. Simple. Just do that. Alright. And if okay, probability that z is more than 0.7 but less than 1. So more than 0.7 plus but less than 1 is going to be entire area, which is 0.5, minus 0.7 minus 0.7 minus this part, then you will be left with this. So try to apply your brain and find this. You are given the entire values in the table itself. Again here, the same way. Here also you have to find this. Your z is basically smaller than minus 96. So you know that this is 0.5 and this is 0 to 1.96. Try to find this. And when you find this, minus this from 0.5, you will be left with this. So I think you can do it by yourself. So do your test understanding 11 as well. Same way you have to use the table, and the table would be given in your question. It's on the first page. Alright, let's do the last question. RST is a food producer. The same question again. Calculate the maximum weight that has no more than 1% chance of being exceeded. We have been given probability of 1%. We want to work out what weight that relates to. Working back to get the probability of 1%, the table entry would have been 0.5 minus 0.01. Look up for the tables for 0.49. Alright, 0 and 0.49. So how are you going to find out that? Go to your table. 0.0.4 is over here, 0.4 is over 0.049. So I think you can do it by yourself. 0 is given over here, 0.4 is over here, 0.9 is over here. So you have to just use the standard deviation table and try to solve these questions. It is very logical and very simple, and the entire table would be given in the exam, so you really have to do nothing. Alright, now doing your test understanding number 12. Here again you have x. You have to find out the value of your z, which is x minus mu divided by your, and then you'll get the values of z, and you're going to standardize the values and find the values. So I hope you can do that also by yourself. In case you can't, then always make your bell curve and mean over here and try to depict it visually in order to solve the questions. I'm not solving these questions because they're extremely simple, but if many of you have doubts in how to solve these questions, then please drop a comment below, then I will make a video solving these questions for you. So that's it for this chapter. We are done with our chapter analyzing data. In the next video we will be covering other chapters. Thank you.